Hey there, your old pal WTR here with the first of possibly many movie reviews. Now, the movie review is going to work a little bit different from the figure review and so forth, and of course the game review. I'm going to just come out and just give a brief summary of like what the thing's about, just discuss it a little bit, maybe go over a plot point or two, then just give it like some sort of a generic rating. And then for people who don't actually want to see the movie, they can just keep watching and just learn all the stupid spoilers. That way you can save yourself a few bucks on and still get basically the same experience. Like, for instance, this, watching it versus not watching it, not going to make a huge difference. At any rate, I found this at an FYE in their clearance bin, and I took one look at the picture, saw Night of a Thousand Cats and so forth. I was thinking, killer cats, I must own this movie. Now I paid $2 for it, and that was too much. I mean, this is an absolute ham of a film. I guess I was kind of expecting camp going in, but it's not camp. It's just craziness in terms of like how shoddily the production's done. It doesn't even get to the point of being funny, except for towards the end. But originally it was a Spanish flick. Let me switch lighting because I don't like this lighting much. There we go. Originally it was a Spanish flick. For some reason they decided to torture Americans by porting it over, but basic storyline is millionaire playboy Hugo flies around Acapulco in his private helicopter looking for women to wine and dine. But what these women don't know is that this Casanova is on a deadly agenda to feed his hungry cats. After he whisks them away to a secluded old castle, Hugo seduces the woman in a dark cellar where 1,000 hungry cats prowl, waiting for their next meal. It's feeding time and nobody's escaping alive. Now, honestly, when I quickly read through this, I thought that, like, he's luring, like, a whole party of people there and, just leaving them for the cats to get at them, but, no such luck. No such luck. And this kick-ass scene on the back, yeah, you wish it was in there. The cats never make it to any trees. They're, like, in a fenced-in area for, like, most of the film. It's, just generic stock, but, in general, good rule of thumb is you can tell how crazy a person is by how many cats they own. So if they own like 3 cats, they're a little different. 5 or 8 cats, maybe a bit eccentric. 10 or more, you're kind of bad crap. But what do you say about a guy who owns 1,000 cats? I mean, that's just completely insane. I mean, there are probably all sorts of excuses for why this guy is a madman, but I'm blaming the cats right now. And by the way, FYI, totally misleading title. 1,000 cats, there were not 1,000 cats there. There were maybe like 920 cats and like 80 kittens. But not 1,000 cats. Unless of course they're counting kittens as cats, but who's that crazy? But yeah, the story's about this creepy looking dude named Hugo, who's got like this weird ass beard, who somehow is able to seduce women despite being a creepy little dude with a orange beard. But the movie starts off with him and this woman by a pool, and they're talking and stuff, and then next thing you know, of course you don't actually hear what they're saying or anything, but next thing you know, all of a sudden they're inside like this one cabin or something, or they're swimming in like an indoor pool as opposed to being like an outdoor pool, and then they're inside like this cabin, and they're getting their freak on or whatever. Next thing you know, they're up on top of a boat, and he holds up a glass in front of her face and goes, "This is really creepy looking sounding thing that she's somehow sweet, and to the audience we automatically assume it's somehow significant, but he goes, I wish I could preserve your beauty for all time," and stuff, as he's holding the glass right in front of her face, and she like smiles and stuff. I guess she figures, hey, this guy's rich, I might not do better in my life. If I don't like him, I don't even know what these people think, but I mean, I don't know why she was with him in the first place, except for the fact that he's got a yacht, a helicopter, and apparently also a castle, but... So he takes her to his castle. Real castle, not a euphemism. I'm sure a few people thought that was probably a euphemism for something else, but it's not. He actually does have a castle, which looks suspiciously like a monastery. And he introduces her to his good friend, Hugo. Not Hugo, Gorgo or Dorgo. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I mean, these messed up names. You can almost tell these guys were like destined to be killers. I mean, who names their kid Hugo? Sounds like you're stuffing them up in the attic for like all their lives, but this guy looks just like a Buddhist monk, but he's not a Buddhist monk. He's some crazy, demented, bald guy who like smiles at the girl and everything, but for whatever reason she thinks he's got more of a punch by the way. She thinks that he's kind of creepy, but I mean, he looks like a really happy guy, but... So she meets his friend, Hugo's good friend Dorgo, or Gorgo, or however you want to pronounce it. Wham! Look! The high five! That's how you know they're friends. You've got the high five going on, but... And then, of course, he leads her downstairs and shows her how his relatives all had collections, and his collection is a little bit creepier than theirs, and... Well... After that first 5 or 10 minutes of weird, disjointed, just jumping between one scene to the next with no segue, you finally have the first victim. Then he goes around looking for more. All in all, pretty awful film. Although, you know, it's more entertaining than Night of the Lepus, it of course is less amusing than Night of the Comet, but all in all, it kind of drags on. There's barely any talking, and I kept confusing his last two intended victims, like the mother and the other girl that he just picks up at a poolside or something, but you know, they use like a lot of stock footage for the cats, and you don't actually see the cats much at all. It's kind of like that one Scarecrow movie where there wasn't actually a scarecrow killing anybody, it was just called Scarecrow for whatever reason. Whatever the heck it was called, but... Actually, I'm going to probably run a bit long, so I'll continue this in the next video for anybody who actually wants to see the spoilers, and just, mention that you should probably avoid getting this unless you can pick it up for like $2 like I did. Or if you have like a Netflix plan and you really think you don't mind having one of your rentals go to waste, but... It's just like, it's like nothing happens for large portions of the film, except for occasionally hilarious scenes where this guy is supposed to be like suave or debonair or something, but he just completely isn't. But yeah, I'll just quickly cut this video and quickly work on the second half, which actually is spoilers.